Yo, it's the SEO TT. And I'm back with my review of the 2019 film Escape Room. Yes, directed by Adam Robitel. I'm starting to see sort of a pattern. Most of these films I picked for this are the not very well received films, apart from maybe Exorcist, Poltergeist, and maybe Dracula 2000. You know, I think maybe they're most, or maybe just Exorcist and Poltergeist are probably the only two that weren't very well received. This one, I don't know. So, you can call it Escape Room, or you can call it Diet Saw, because that's basically what it is. It's a PG-13 version of Saw. And, well, no blood, no guts, and a confusing storyline. So, essentially, there are 6 people in a room, in an escape room, created by something called Minos, where they are being put through this escape room, and they go from room to room, each more dangerous than the last. And yeah, but basically there are 3 main characters that is really based upon this that we're introduced to, that are ones that we are seeing and are given the cards. And there's Jason, who is the entrepreneur type African American character guy. There's Logan Miller's character, Ben, who is on the opposite side of that spectrum. He's barely making ends meet at his current job. He's had a drug addiction in the past. Yeah. And then there's the character played by Taylor Russell. She's the main character. I forget her name. But she's had something happen to her in the past. And we find out about, there's 3 other people. There's Deborah Ann Woll's character, who served in Iraq. There's Danny. He's the nerd and has beaten a bunch of escape rooms until this one. And there's Mike, who's a truck driver, and his nephew actually talked him into doing this. So, there are your characters. Now, much like Jigsaw, we don't know who is behind this. And we end up not really knowing. They do introduce the Game Master at the end of the film, but it's weird. Because after I watched the movie, I was watching reviews on it to kind of get other people's views and how they saw this. And nowadays, Blu-rays start playing special features automatically, I guess, because it started playing special feature interviews and stuff. And the guy who plays the Game Master, in the interview, it popped up and it said Wu Tan Yu, which is the villain's name, an anagram for No Way Out. But he's the Game Master. I even looked up on Wikipedia. He's known as the Game Master. So I don't know maybe it was a missed thing on the, I don't know. And then I started playing a scene, almost like the beginning. Apparently it's an alternate opening where it's this, I think, Brazilian or Hispanic soccer team goes into that first room. Maybe they were the test. I don't know. Really weird. There's also an alternate ending, which I'll get to. But throughout the film, we are shown that there's a link between these characters. They're all soul survivors. Mike was in a tunnel collapse. He was the only survivor. Where his brother was the only other person there, and he died. Taylor Russell's character, she was in a car accident or a plane accident or something, and her parents died because of it. Jason, he and his friend were on a canoe in the Arctic or a boat or something. It tipped over. They were stuck. And his friend died because different reasons. He first says that he died because he jumped in the water and swam off and ended up dead. But we learned later that he killed his friend and took the coat so he could survive. And I think Danny was a survivor of a gas leak, and Deborah Ann Wool's character is a survivor of a bomb or something in Iraq. And Ben survived a car accident where he was the drunk driver. He was the only one that survived. So they're sole survivors. And each test is weirder than the next. So the one thing I wanna say, horror, and they do this in horror movies before. They show a scene at the beginning of something, then cut it and come back to it later in the film. It's a scene of something that's going to happen later in the film, and don't do that, because it basically tells us, because I know that they're trying to fool us because of what's going on, but they're basically saying, oh, this guy's going to be the last one left, and then it cuts, and we're introduced to this guy who, because you think, oh, this was the first victim, but then you show that he's part of this group, and I'm like, okay, so why show us the beginning? I don't know. It's to make us believe that he is the sole survivor of this, but then there's a reveal later. We'll get to it. So the first room is just standard, walk-in waiting room. And they're told to sit down, and then we're waiting for it to start. Ben gets anxious and wants to go out for a smoke, but then the handle comes off and it's revealed to be a oven now. It starts to get really hot in there. Eventually they realize they have to weight down the coasters to keep the door open and they can leave. The next room, which in the contrast is ice. And this is where the characters start to get killed off. First it's Danny, and Ben throws his lighter because they use this contraption they put together to pull this ice out. This is what they had to do. It's like a magnet. And inside is a key. It's a metal thing. There's a key. And that'll open the door. So they tell Ben to give him his lighter. Instead of handing it to him, he just chucks it. When Danny goes to get it, he falls through the ice. Now, we're not specifically seen, but we know that they're being watched. So somebody set a charge. And because it's shown later in this segment that they can crack the ice whenever they want. So someone did that because they didn't want them to use the lighter. Guarantee that's why. And then he dies, of course. So then they decide to each take turns wearing the coat that they found, which is like the same coat that Jason had taken from the guy he killed. And they're each going to wear the coat, and they're going to put the ice cube inside to melt it some. Okay. I'm not an expert, but I think you're going to die of hypothermia or frostbite before it even thaws out. Now, of course, in the film, it works. But, come on. You're already partially freezing to death. You have a coat on, and you put something cold in your jacket. It's going to make you colder. Therefore, you are going to freeze faster than that thing thaws. Body heat or not, you're going to freeze to death before that thing thaws out. But of course, it's a movie, so it thaws out. They use it. They go to the next room, and it's a spinning room. They have to put in, do a sliding puzzle to fix it and stuff. And Deborah Ann Wool's character dies because of this, because she's the last one left in the room, and the rest go out. And by this point, Jason just wants to get out, and he's starting to show his true colors here. That he's an ass because, Taylor. I'm gonna start calling her Taylor. I don't know her real name, but she. Does it say on the back here? No. She is trying to adjust to the fact that Deborah Ann Wool's character just died, and it is like, no, let's get out of here. So they go, and this is like a hospital room type area, and this is where they find out the accidents they were in and how they're all lone survivors. And then the next test is to go to extremes, I guess, and you have to have a high heart rate and a low heart rate. So they do it to Mike. They do it to Mike, he dies, and then Jason comes up with the idea that maybe you need extreme low heartbeat, so he hooks himself up to the thing, deep breathing. Hooks himself up to the thing, deep breathing, lowers his heart rate, and it works. But this gas starts coming out, and during this, Taylor becomes aware that the cameras are watching. He starts to smash the cameras, but because they've got a way out, Ben's like, "Come on, let's go." She goes, "No, I need to do this," and Ben's forced to leave her behind. As the gas is coming in, she faints to the floor, and this starts foaming at the mouth. But then we see that one of the cameras had a gas mask in it. And then we get to a trippy part of the movie. We have Ben and we have Jason, and they're stuck in this little room, and there's an antidote, but they have to fight for it. And of course, Ben wins, but then he gets stuck in the room at the beginning, and he gets out of that, and he's captured by the game master, who says that he won, but then the game master tried to kill him, because I guess the game master's a part of this too. But surprise! Taylor's still alive. And she shoots the game master because it's revealed that she used the gas mask, of course. And so they get out of there. Right? They're the two survivors. Ben's in the hospital. Theatrical ending. 6 months later. Okay, first, she takes this is the part I call bullshit. She gets the cops, like you should do, and brings them back to the building, where everything is gone. Her bullshit. I'm sorry, but how much stuff was in there? In that building, in those rooms, there is no way in hell they could get, we're implied it's like the next day, possibly, that this happens. So, there's no way overnight they could have gotten all that done. I'm sorry, but no. If even overnight. But she sees where it says no way out and realizes that it's the anagram for Wutan Yu, which was written on everything. And, yeah. So the theatrical ending, 6 months later. Ben goes to meet her for lunch, and they're talking. And she has a whole notebook of stuff showing that the Minos Corporation staged cover-ups for the deaths of the people in the rooms, saying that Mike had a heart attack. There were Ann Wool died while climbing. Danny drowned. Jason, I don't remember what his was, but yeah, they're all covered up, and he's like, well, they would have had cover stories for us too. And she figures out where they need to go. And I'm like, yeah, they're gonna go fight this bitch. This is followed by a twist that somehow Minos knows that they're going to use a plane to get to them. So they're setting up a plane trap. Bullshit. Okay? This guy cannot be so connected that he knows exactly what they are doing at every point in time. I'm sorry, but that's not possible. Alright? There's no way he can know exactly what plane they are going to be on. Alright? Bullshit. First of all, she has become smart. And according to them, she's already purchased the plane tickets. I don't think so. Nope. Because she had just told Ben about it. And she's smart. She knows that they might be watching, so why would she pre-purchase a airline ticket knowing that they could get the information off of it? Sure, they can get the information if you purchase it right there, then and there. But I think she would be quick enough. They couldn't be quick enough to catch her like that. But this implies that they're everywhere, and they're making a sequel. It's coming out next year, hopefully. But I kind of want to see where it goes, and from what it looks like, because my biggest thing is, what are they going to do with the characters? Are they going to bring back the characters? Or are they just going to bring in a whole new cast and say, oh, they died in a plane crash and not show it? Or are they only bringing these characters back to kill them off at the beginning skit? I don't know. But that's the theatrical ending. And I think it's bullshit. The other ending is a little more ominous, but still know what to think about it. So, in the other ending, I don't know how much time passed. I'm assuming it's right afterwards because Ben's not around. She's reading a book. Some book connected to Minos, I guess. And she sees a number on there that's the same number as the classroom where she was being taught. Now, is this a hint that it's her college professor that's behind it? Who knows? But she goes to the seat that she's supposed to go to, I guess, and she finds a check for $10,000, the money that she was owed for doing the thing. Question is where they hide Ben's. That's what I want to know. And she rips it up. Because she's like, fuck this. In her head, fuck this. She rips it up. And then she finds a compass. Which earlier in the film, there was a thing that said, True North is a lie. And I'm like, that never came into play. Like, I thought it was going to play into the puzzle. But it didn't. And here, if this is the original ending, it makes sense. She has the compass, and then this thing pops up, and it talks to her, and it says again, True North is a lie, and it talks to her, and it says, it's time for a new game. And the college door shuts. So it implies that the ending would have had her stuck in another game, by herself this time, in a college room. It's darker, but it kind of could set up a sequel better. I think maybe they're like, oh, we could set up the sequel better with this new ending. And now, the mystery person, Wu-Tan Yu, talks with a voice changer. It messes with the voice. But here's the thing. I think it's more than one person. Because I noticed this time watching it, they're like shadows or something, and it may be just a trick. There's a female shadow and a male shadow. Now this could be because they don't know if it's going to be a male or female, so they so they could say, oh, so we just got to do male, female shadows, and then we'll just pick whatever it is. Or, and this is my thought, what if it's her parents? Hear me out. What if I don't know. I can't even theorize, but that's just what crossed my mind. A man and a woman. What if it's her parents? I don't even have a theory to go along with it. It just popped in my head. So don't hear me out. But, I don't know. I don't know. It's just a thought. So I don't know. Another thought was it could be a college professor and another female. And I thought, well, who did we see? Ben's boss was male. What about the person that gave... Was that a female? I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. But gave Jason one. I don't know. But that's decent. I'm going to give it a 7. Because it's decent. But like I said, it comes off as Diet Saw. And it's, in my opinion, not as good as Saw. And yes, the ending is clear. After watching the alternate ending, which is the original ending, yes, it was a cliffhanger to set up something, implying there could be a sequel. But the new ending they wrote in was absolutely to set up the sequel, saying, hey, I think this is good enough to start a sequel, start a franchise, let's set up a sequel, forget about that ending. Put it as a special feature on the DVD. And like I said, there's an alternate opening, too, with a foreign language soccer team and stuff. I don't know. And I'm glad they cut that because why would you, because they're in the same waiting room, so why would you show that with them, showing what's going to happen? Even though that's in the trailer, but, like, they're showing what's going to happen. And then just have another scene what happens with the actual cast, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Like I said, 7 out of 10. Alright, so I'm not going to draw it out, because I don't know. It's Exorcist is the last one, number 10. And that'll be sometime today. Hopefully I didn't take a shower, shave. But, yeah. Hopefully sometime today or tonight, I'll get this out and then do the ranking. And in that ranking, I have an announcement because I fucked up. But I'm going to fix it. So, wait for the ranking, though. So, until then, what are you guys' thoughts on, not that, on Escape Room? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.